So yes, again, I'm Rachel Chase and welcome. This is, it's been a couple of months since I've done a video like this. I've published a couple of pre-recorded shorter videos on a couple of different topics that are on my YouTube channel around healthy boundaries and creating peace in our lives. This is a continuation, this video is a continuation, this recording. I'm also doing it on free teleconference. So it's both an audio experience and or a video experience. I know not everybody's on Facebook, so I want to make this available for those who are also tuning in other ways. So this is really a continuation of something that I had started in 2015. I'm always tuning in with spirit, with source, with the intuitive knowing within around what am I being called to do at this time? What direction is my work taking? And how do I follow the guidance within to magnify, to express, to create from the highest place within myself that I am able to access at that time? And so in 2015, I started these in-person new moon visioning circles. So I would gather in person at different locations with others, and we would hold space for each other to, support our shared, our collective, and then also our individual intentions for our lives around what we're creating for the now in our lives as well as for the future. And when we're talking about the new moon typically represents a time of planting a new seed, planting a seed for the future that will grow in our lives. So we have that today, today is the new moon and in Pisces. And the sun is also in Pisces. So we're going to talk about this Pisces energy today. And we're going to talk about what is going on for us that is maybe happening for you as an individual and happening for all of us as a collective around how to tap into a space within ourselves that invites a fresh new perspective around maybe places we might have been feeling stuck. And we're also going to really go into a deep connection with the spiritual energy that's available, that's always here within us, and have a really deep meditative experience today. So if you're driving or doing anything active while watching this video, you might just want to press pause and come back to it later when you can listen to the recording. But if you're in a space right now where you can be with me and be with the others that are on this call and watching this video right now, let's all begin this process by creating a very clear intention together. Now, I have a glass of water with me, and water is a powerful tool. It is the energy of life, right? It is life. And so when we use our words and our hearts and our energy and our minds to direct energy in a really intentional way, and we use water when we do it, we have an opportunity to create a really amazing vibration in this water so that when we drink the water, it helps to align and harmonize our inner energy with that intention, so that whatever is not a match for that vibration or that pattern of energy, that non-match will then start to match up with it or be cleared and released out of the body. So welcome, Livy. Hi, sweetie. Glad you're here. Welcome, Penelope. I see you're on the call as well. So those of you who are already part of my online community and my in-person workshops community, and those who've been allies and mentors of mine and mentees of mine, I just want to start off by saying how incredibly in awe of the gratitude that I feel for you and for the work that we're all doing. I feel like we are all in this together in such unique ways. And I see how we're growing and supporting each other, and I'm amazed by it, and I'm so grateful. So I feel like we're on the precipice. You know, we're opening more and more to our innate abilities to perceive and connect with that which is under the surface of life, that which is the thing to see behind what is happening in our day-to-day lives, the understanding other dimensions of ourself, understanding the deeper connections with non-human consciousness, the consciousness of nature, the consciousness of galactic beings, the consciousness of spirit essence, and starting to parse out what all these energies are that we have been, as empaths, kind of aware of through our emotions and the sense that there's something more here. But now we're just on the precipice of getting even more in touch with that and even more understanding around that. And so I really value the support that we can offer each other, because it's so essential for us to have that support with all the pushback, right? And all of the sort of squinty eyes that we might get from people that go, what are you talking about? Or that's a little too weird for me. Or, you know, so we're sort of stepping into a little more of our bravery around saying, yeah, I believe in all that stuff, you know, and I'm also just a real human having a real human experience. You know, it doesn't mean that I'm not me anymore. I'm still me. And I'm also interested in accessing the relationship that I already have, deepening that relationship and building a deeper understanding around what that relationship is that I have with the unseen and all the aspects that are there. Because just imagine, right? So if we have such a varied experience in the physical world, the non-physical experience is equally, if not even more so, varied and interesting and dynamic. And the word adventurous is coming. We have this adventure coming. And so Pisces energy has so much to do with that adventure to me, you know, with that very awareness of, you know, the dreamy aspects, the subconscious, the unconscious, the psychic knowing, the higher self-awareness, the spiritual awareness. And when I say spiritual, you know, you may or may not be a religious person, and many of you who are already in my community, I'm speaking to the choir here, but for those of you who may watch this that aren't familiar with what I mean when I say spiritual, spiritual to me just means the awareness that we are connected with everything and everything is one. That everything is, the truth of oneness is the reality of what and who we are. And Pisces invites us to experience that awareness directly, to have a direct contact with it. And we have some other planetary dynamics going on here. So I'm going to get into those too. And we're going to do these processes and meditations. Okay. So let's go into a real interconnectivity now. Wherever you're sitting or lying or standing, I want you just to become very present in your body, please, and your breath right now. And take those breaths. And now you're either going to bring your hands into a prayer pose or place the hands on the body in any way that feels right for you. And just start to take these breaths. Start to take these breaths. Welcome those who are coming in right now. Welcome, welcome. We're just connecting now and beginning to tune in with the circle of energy that we create when we gather this way. The shared group energy of awareness around this intention to hold space for each other. And breathe in and out slowly. We're going to start with this heart breath, this heart coherence breath, this meditation that right now so many people around the world are doing and connecting with. And if you've heard of the Heart Math Institute, I'll talk about that later, but They've been doing some studies around this. So we're going to invite in this heart coherence together. And I've done this before, but we're really going to intentionally imagine that your heart is breathing in and out. As you consciously breathe, imagine that your anatomical heart is also breathing, and as well as your lungs, as well as your whole body, as well as your brain, your heart is breathing in and out. Imagine me, imagine you, and imagine all of us, those that are participating with this call now and in the future, as well as all of those in the whole entire world who are participating in this intention to connect through the heart. Just take a couple more breaths here. Your heart is breathing in and out. And we are connected through the breath, that the breath energy itself is dynamic and flows into the time-space field and connects us with each other. Connects us all together. All of us, all around the world, all of us here on this call. And when we do this, we awaken the intelligence here. And this is a big part of what we're doing today, just awakening this intelligence of the heart. So we can listen to it and hear it and allow it to speak. Awaken the throat chakra, the energy of speaking your truth from the heart. I'm wearing some blue today, and the blue represents the Pisces watery energy. The blue represents the truth that we speak. I know some of you today will be jumping on this call and jumping off, or coming on the video and jumping off, and that's totally fine and beautiful. I'm so grateful to have you for whatever moment you can bring in your amazing energy, and I know you'll come back later to connect again with it. So as we experience this hour or so together, let us stay in the awareness of this heart space intelligence. Stay in the inner focus. When we're talking about healing and we're talking about empowerment, we're talking about creativity, because that is what my work is all about: creative empowerment, healing work, right? We're talking about the intelligence of the heart. We're talking about the wisdom that is truly right here, and invoking it, bringing it forth. This is this radical love, this radical compassion, this radical truth that says no matter what I'm perceiving in the three-dimensional reality in which I live right now, I am a force for this. And this is the most important thing that we can do right now as individuals, is to say, no matter what is going on in my relationships, no matter what is going on in my job, no matter what is going on in my home, in the world, in politics, no matter what is going on, we have this election year, there's so much coming up. No matter what destructive forces are at play, the truth is coming. The truth is here. The truth is coming up and out through our very being. And that is the way of change in the world. So if you are a helper, if you are a healer, if you are a teacher, if you are just someone who cares enough to hold that space, that is the most important gift, important thing we can do as human beings, is to hold the space of that for ourselves, each other, in the world, of that wisdom within that can only be available in the world when those of us who hold space for it do it deliberately. So that's what we're doing, right? That's what we're doing right now. So I've got my notes here around some of the things that we can start to talk about today around the energies of, you know, this Pisces thing I'm mentioning. And I am a very, let's call me a novice astrologer. I'm really interested in the way that astrology can be used to understand ourselves more deeply. I'm also interested in meditation and how when we access the truth of the energies of nature in a very intentional, conscious way, we can feel into that deep, deep space of connection with oneness and bring that into form in a really conscious, this word will come again and again and again out of my mouth today, I'm sure, intentional way. So if we start to look at some of the astrology of the moment, we can then connect with what we want to bring awareness, healing, and consciousness into, right? Whatever that is that you're doing, however it is that you're seeking to heal in your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual bodies. And because of this watery, dreamy, spiritual energy of Pisces right now, I feel so drawn to just keep this rhythm going for this call, this video, so that we can kind of go in and out of that space. And then toward the end of the session here, we're going to rest in awareness in that space and just be there and be there. And I'm going to bring in an image right now, which is this waterfall, imagining this watery energy as though in that heart breath that we're doing, that awareness of the heart intelligence, that it's like water today, that it's just flowing through in and out of your heart into the space around you. Because a lot of times when we experience this kind of watery, dreamy energy, we might start to feel vulnerable and want to close up a little bit and protect ourselves because it's a little scary. Maybe we've been hurt before. So I'm going to invite us to sort of notice if that starts to happen for you. Notice if there are any old ways of being that are kind of coming up, that it's like, no, you know, we can just take that water and that heart breath and just let it move through. And maybe even a little hand at the heart to acknowledge the tenderness and invite in the strength of the cosmos to hold the space for us. So we have a lot of these astrological activations going on, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about what some of those are based on the astrologies of those that I follow, one being Pam Gregory. She's on YouTube and I love her very much. I appreciate she can just like give you a huge download of information. Sometimes it can be a lot, so you go back and listen a few times. And there are others that I pay attention to as well, but I really tuned in with her this month because she can give me all the aspects and meanings there. And they always just hit the, yeah, that makes a lot of sense for me. And then I want to take what she offers and then bring in these processes to say, all right, so now let's apply that and do some healing work around them. So you're going to want to have your journal ready if you have it handy, or just come back to the video or listen in to the call again later and do some of these exercises for yourself. We'll see how many we can get to in our amount of time today. You know, I always think that, oh my gosh, I have a whole hour. What am I going to talk about? And then I get on here and the time just starts flying by. So, considering Pisces, and you may or may not know what your astrological chart is, but you can just do an internet search for a free astrology chart or your natal birth chart to start to look at where the planets are in your chart, what kind of energies and dynamics, the earth planets, the fire planets, the water planets, and then what houses there. And if you're not familiar with what any of that is, If you go to cafeastrology.com, they offer a lot of insight and awareness around these topics, but you don't have to know any of that to do this work that we're doing today. Let's just start here. So we have a lot of Mars energy happening, with a lot of this young push kind of feeling of assertion coming in that's kind of supporting our intentions. And today with this new moon, it's also happening at a place that's called 4 degrees of Capricorn. And 4 degrees of Capricorn is the exact same place where we had it in the sun, the moon, and the way everything is aligning in this part of the sky. That's exactly what was being triggered at the time of December 26th, when we had that new moon right at Christmas time at the end of last year. That was just a couple months ago, not quite. So I know that that time was a powerful time for so many of us thinking about the new year and the intentions that we were setting around that time. Since today is a new moon in Pisces now, we're looking at it from a little bit more of an emotional perspective. And we're looking over the last 2 months and start to think about, what were you doing around that new moon? What activities were you doing, that those intentions that you were setting for the new year, you were projecting forward, right? I know a lot of us had these big projects we were thinking about and thinking, okay, should we do it? Should we not do it? Should I stay or should I go? What is this new 2020 going to be all about? And setting some real clear intentions for ourselves. So this is an opportunity today to look back over the last couple of months and look at, what have you learned since then about those intentions, and what truth is now being what is the truth that you're being made aware of through your own inner self, your own inner state of being. So we're really being asked to trust that voice inside of us that's telling us, okay, do we want to adjust this now that we are here from this new vantage point, this new perspective, this new you? So consider that for a moment. We're just going to take another breath, and this is what I like to say, connecting with your inner muse. And what is the muse? It's the voice of it's a part of your intuition. It's a voice of your, and I use the word voice. Voice can sound in a certain way, look in a certain way, give you information in a certain way around your creator self. Yourself as creator, because we're always creating, right? You're a creator by living, just by being alive. We all create every day, just by waking up. Our physical activities are creating and destroying, and new life is formed in every second with our being. And our inner muse is saying, okay, as a creator in life, what is seeking to come through right now? How can I be inspired by life? How can I break free of what I thought reality was all about and be open to another truth? Truth is macro and micro, right? We have the little truths and the big truths. And as we're going through this evolutionary process together, opening and opening and opening and opening, this dance I'm doing makes me think of a fish in the water. It's very Pisces, isn't it? Imagine your heart is just doing that every day, opening to greater and greater truths. So let's take a moment right now to connect in with the fact that we have this reflection moment around that time at the end of December, and now going forward, as we sort of have this mirror of reflection to look back for a moment, consider where we've come the last 2 months, and sit in this space in the heart. Just take a couple of breaths, place your hand on your heart center, and come back to that heart breath again, as if your actual anatomical heart and your center of your chest, that whole area is breathing in and out. Imagine your heart is breathing in and out. Now I know this awareness in your heart is been there. It's been there. Doesn't mean that we're making it happen right now, but we're helping you listen to it by doing this. Hand on the heart. Heart breath. Dive deep. Listen to that deeper urge to dive deep. Breathe deeply in and slowly out. We're going to bring in the awareness of the galactic center, the center of our galaxy, the Milky Way, and that powerful golden light. That is our creation energy, our creator energy. Pam Gregory talks about that too, but I think we can all imagine that direct experience of bringing that amazing energy into form through our solar system, through the sun, through the earth, into our bodies, connecting in the earth itself, as if the core of the earth is also a galactic center. It's our planetary center. And intentionally blend those energies into your heart, as if the center, if your anatomical heart is also a galactic center. And that the creator codes within you can be even more activated. Just keep activating and activating your own heart with your breath and with that visual of the galactic center and the golden light. And follow that flow, follow that feeling, follow that awareness of inner sight, inner sound, inner feeling, inner truth, and the water coming through. And if you have water nearby, I think this is a good time to go ahead and drink some of that. Just listening in this presence of allowing and receiving an inspiration and contemplation and playing with the energy. Give yourself permission to play with this divine presence within you. You're connected with everything. You're connected with Source. What are you feeling into around the truth of your life right now? And that seed that you're planting. And if you feel called to draw a little symbol, maybe right now, or write a phrase right now around this inner experience you're having. And it may not make any sense. It may not be about practicalities right now. Pisces is not about that kind of thing. Where we were in December, that Capricorn energy was very much about practicalities, plans. And right now what we're in is more the, what is Spirit showing me through my deeper layers of being? And what I'm hearing is just simply, I am the truth. My life is the truth. I am worth it. So whatever that knowingness that's coming through for you is, you should really trust yourself that you can tap into that and bring it into your life as a blessing for the vision that we have together as this awareness of love in the world, the vision that we hold of everyone waking up, right? So that's the collective vision, the dream of how this is coming about through us in our lives as we trust and hold space for that. It's coming through into everyone else's awareness, through our hearts, the most powerful force there is. And that's the radical love. That's the radical truth of this moment. So we have this dreamy energy of Pisces. We have this Mars supportive kind of push, and maybe there's some agitation around there with that Mars energy. We still have a lot of this Capricorn energy that's going to continue with us. That's a real, I see it as a supportive energy that's providing a stable, supportive foundation and meeting us as we take that next step. It meets us and provides the ground that we need, provides the structure, provides the stepping stones that we don't necessarily have to know how it's all going to play out. But Capricorn energy is here to remind us that it is going to play out. But Pisces is showing us to stay in the flow. Stay in the flow. And trust in your divine wisdom. And that keeps the energy up. That keeps the energy not in that up like, I'm just feeling so great all the time. You know, and sometimes maybe you are just feeling so great, and that's wonderful. But by up, it doesn't have to be that no matter what, stay positive, right? It needs to be more like, no matter what I feel, there is love here. No matter what human experience I'm going through, there is compassion here. No matter what I perceive others to be going through, if I wish they were behaving in a different way, maybe there's things I don't like the way others are doing what they're doing, rather than getting fixated on, right, what it is they're doing. Maybe it's more about, no matter what I'm experiencing from them, there is love here. Doesn't mean I'm in denial about my preferences. Doesn't mean I'm in denial about, you know, what is happening in the world. I'm not putting my head in the sand and pretending. No. In fact, eyes wide open, seeing it all clearly. And there is love here. The deepest love, the deepest truth of that is always here. And that's what Pisces is asking us to do today. To harness it, to take it and compress it into that seed and plant it. Plant it deep. Plant it deep in the soil of your heart. And maybe there's a symbol that you can create today. Maybe there's a stone that you find outside. Go for a little walk. It's such a beautiful day here. Wherever you are, go outside and find something that can symbolize that seed. Or maybe you already have something that can symbolize that seed. I'm going to just grab the first thing I find. I have a little container of stones here that I keep on my table, and I was thinking maybe this one. Oops, maybe it's that one. It just flew out of my hands. Let's see. This is going to be my symbol. Maybe you'll find one too. This little crystal. Isn't that wild? Look at that. Yeah. I'm thinking this is going to be my symbol. So whatever your symbol is, I have this little clear crystal in my hand. Maybe you have something you want to create as your seed today. Maybe you plant it in a way that is not in the ground, but maybe it's like in a little box that reminds you planted that seed today with a little note. Let's do that right now. Let's write a little note. Write a little note that supports you, that says something about the fact that this is the seed that you're planting today, to remind yourself of that extremely supportive energy that's there when you can go deep into the connection with your higher self, the connection with the spiritual aspect of your being, the deeper dimensions of your being. that you can go into those dimensions and retrieve what you need and bring it through the love energy into the world. That can show you how worthy you are, that can show you how important you are, that can remind you of just how valuable what you have to say, what you have to do, what you have to offer in your unique way, how valuable that is. So that when you're feeling scared or when you're feeling unsure, you can come back and this can remind you. Or maybe you do just plant it in the earth and put your hands on the earth and bless it. And envision that galactic center light energy and that water energy going deep within and just trusting that that seed is going to grow and 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 support all of this that you are in your life and on into the next life. And everyone who is here in this world gets to experience that too. The more we do that, the more of that energy the earth gets to receive. That the earth and all the inhabitants here, all the things and all the beings, everything gets blessed by that. And we've got to keep that up, right? It's important. It's important that we keep it up. It's so important that we keep it up. So we're going to do a little bit of breath work now. And then I'm going to pull a card from the Oracle card from the Wisdom of Avalon deck from Colette Baron Reed. Before we do the breath work here, I just want to say a little something about this. For me right now, what this this video is about, it's about a completion of a cycle and a start of a new one for me. When I started creating these visioning circles in 2015, the in-person circles, it was definitely a beginning point for me in my work and my journey here in Central Florida. And I had been here already for a little while teaching yoga and meditation and Reiki, which is what I still do. And since then, my work has grown and grown and grown and grown. And now I do all these integrative healing and mentoring sessions with people. I'm creating some online courses and growing in my own work. And so doing the online visioning circles has been absolutely beautiful with the new moons. And for a while there, I was very consistent with it. And then being in graduate school for my counseling degree, it's been a little more inconsistent. So I really feel like today, this for me and my work, this new moon visioning circle is not the last of its, certainly not the last of this kind of experience I'm doing with you, but it's going to be done in a little bit of a different way going forward. It may or may not fall on a new moon going forward. In 2 months, I'm starting a podcast with the Transformation Talk Radio Network. And it's called The Creative Empowerment Show with Rachel Chase, Invoking Radical Love. So this platform that I've been using is going to change a little bit and move from this wording of visioning circle to creative empowerment. So that's going to be reflected in my Facebook group as well, those of you who are in my visioning circle group there. And it'll be monthly on the third Wednesday of each month starting in April, so April 22nd. And isn't that another auspicious date? 4/22/2020. So I just wanted to share that with you because once we do the breath work and the closing oracle card reading out, we'll just close this circle in a very sacred way. And just wanted to send this little message to you all and a little announcement right now that in 2 months we'll be starting my podcast, which will be very similar to what these videos have been, but a little different. And you'll see, you'll find out how different. I'll share more later. I don't want to take up too much time on this video talking about that, but want to give it a little bit of attention and so that you're aware of what that's going to be going forward. And so also, and another note about my work, which is what we're doing right now, here in just a moment, I'm going to bring in some of this this experience for you with the breath work, is I've been doing quantum healing sessions with people as well. So these are done either in person or remotely. Most of them are done remotely through a Zoom video where we do a guided journey, a hypnosis, and past life regression. And really what that regression is about is, I'm not going to be calling it past life. It's multidimensional regression, because the way I see it, and I know many of us are understanding it from this perspective now, it's not so much about past or future, it's more about it's all happening now, right? And so when we allow ourselves to go into that space, we invite in our higher selves to show us and to give us an experience that will provide the wisdom that we need at that moment to answer questions that we're wanting answered, to gain the insights that we'd like to gain through that awareness of our deeper dimension of self. We can call it the higher mind, the higher self, spiritual consciousness, soul wisdom. You know, all of that for me translates as that space we go in when we have a, quote, past life regression or alternate dimension experience. So these are about 3 to 5 hours long, depending on the session. And if you want more information about that, let me know. So we're going to go into some breath work now and just have a little bit of that experience. Then I'm going to do an oracle card reading to close the ceremony today. So come back into presence of body and breath now, please. Breathe slowly in and out. And you can either have your hands on your body, prayer pose, or relaxed down in your lap. Breathe in and out slowly. Connect in your body, your feet, your legs, your hips, your belly, your back. Give your body permission to drop some tension. Let your face relax, let your shoulders relax. Bring your breath down and through your body. Take a nice slow exhale. Feel your feet in the earth or your body in the earth, as if you're connecting deeply in the energy awareness of earth. And start to tune in with the presence of your guides, your muse, your intuition, guardians, energy allies, beings of love and light, ascended masters. Tune in with their presence here in the space with you wherever you are, and here in the space with us as we are all gathered together as a collective. Feel that they are with us. Feel that they are with you. Trust that they are here. Imagine it. Just imagine. Just play with it, your imagination for a moment. This is a big part of what this quantum healing experience, regression, whatever you want to call it, is all about. Playing in the field of that space where higher mind, higher self, higher consciousness, greater awareness of all that is speaks to you. This is how we receive that wisdom, is through our imagination, through our muse, through our hearts. So use your imagination and envision a multitude of beings. Some may think of this as angels or galactic beings or elemental beings in the trees, or just your own knowing that there are presences of those who have maybe passed over to the other side that are assisting you. Maybe it's just an essence of spiritual energy that comes through into your awareness, that you are surrounded in this, enveloped in the breath of life itself. And that through that connection, you receive what you need, just through that even. Keep breathing in slowly and out slowly, and let your breath start to expand out beyond your body. Breathe slow, in and out. As your body contracts and expands, your breath contracts and expands. As your body and breath move, your energy moves in and out. As you listen more deeply, as you tune into the presence of your beings that are assisting you, guides, beings of love, ascended masters, welcoming their presence. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Be in gratitude. Breathe in, breathe out. Stay connected in your breath, and it will help you connect more deeply with the inner realms. And the big question that you can ask right now from this deep space of connection is, what do I need to know right now? What do I need to see right now? What do I need to be made aware of right now in order to shift into divine love, awareness, presence of being? To be that which is seeking to be present in the world. To be that compassionate being. What is it that I need to do or shift or know for those next steps in my life? Asking those questions from the inner deep knowing space. There's another part to this process that I'm going to make a separate video around. It's actually going to be a guided meditation it's kind of a regression, and we're just going to do a little bit of it right now. So as you're connecting in that deep space, I want you to imagine a beautiful location that is just, it's almost ethereal and celestial in nature. Maybe there's stars, maybe there's a portal of light, maybe it's a beach at night. There's an awareness of an opening that you can step into and start to perceive more of what that inner awareness is trying to show you through a little bit of a portal, maybe. A portal that you start to invite into your awareness right now. And that is a place that you can keep coming back to whenever you go into meditation later today or tonight or through this next couple of days with this new moon energy we're in, to help you access a deeper connection in those inner dimensions and retrieve and then bring it into form and surround it with love and let it inspire you. And on these last few breaths of this process, I want you to take a breath in and bring it all the way up to the top of your head. Imagine it going up to the top of your head. And then exhale and draw it down through the center of your body. Imagine it go through the spine area all the way down to the earth. Two more like that, into the top of the head and above. And then back down to earth as you exhale all the way through your body. So the electricity in the air, there's a lot of electricity in the air that's here to electrify, to energize your dreams right now, your passions, your purpose. So try not to get distracted by old stuff, old fears, old things that linger around that remind you of what things that didn't work out, or, try not to get caught up in all of that. Stay present to the electricity that's here, that's supporting those visions of what you're creating in the world. They're not pipe dreams. Those are being given to you to show you what's possible when we work together creatively in life. When we work together through that heart space. And at first things might feel like, well, this is really weird what we're doing here. We're creating something that's never been created. How do we even go about doing that? Keep coming back to the electricity, to the gifts that are coming through that portal, to your guides, to the beings of love and light. Keep coming back to that space of creative imagination within you so that you can be the invocation, you can be the expression, you know, that you can remember who and what you are every day as that being of compassion and love. And let that hold you to trust those steps. Trust, 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 trust. Sometimes we feel like hiding away. If you feel like hiding away, just notice what's going on when you feel like hiding away. Give yourself the nurturing you need, some love and compassion for the fear that you might be feeling, or the rage that's coming through, any of that. Give yourself so much compassion for where that's coming from, but don't let it suck you back into those winding thoughts of the drastic sort of possibilities of the worst, you know? Let yourself just be nurtured in your own loving embrace. Give yourself that love and then come back to the connection into the galactic center, that golden light, that breath moving through your body. Steady, steady, back to the heart breath. Back to your guidance system, back to your inner muse for inspiration. Keep coming back in and in and in and in and in. That's the gift of this Pisces new moon, to remind us to keep coming back. I'm so grateful for you. I've got these cards now. I'm going to pull a card. The Wisdom of Avalon Oracle cards with Colette Baron-Reid's cards. These are fun and playful, and I feel like this sort of mystical Avalon energy is very Piscean and associated with this archetypal awareness, archetypes, right? These themes of our being that can give us deeper wisdom of what's playing out right now. And I'm just setting the intention to receive whatever message is coming through just for you, just for us, that wants to come through. I'm just tuning in with my guides. This one, okay, thank you. Ah, this is such a good one. My goodness, isn't this interesting? Yesterday was the 22nd, so 2/22. This is about gentleness and diplomacy, and I feel like this is being asked of us in so many ways in terms of our communication. That was the other thing I didn't mention, is that Mercury is in Pisces until April. So this card is reminding me to say that Mercury is in Pisces until April. So our communication is wanting to, this energy is asking for our communication to be very gentle and diplomatic in a way, as there's so much heightened energy going on in our world, right? Divisiveness and those parts of ourselves that feel conflicted sometimes. So just watch the way that you speak to yourself. Watch that inner talk, you know. Keep coming back into, what would my higher self say? What does compassion want for me? What does compassion want for this relationship? You know. So this gentleness and diplomacy and the energy of the deer is a gift, a reminder to remind us all that this is the time for this medicine to be brought forth through our space, through our hearts, through our body language, through the sacred pause that we take before speaking, before doing, through the daily intention of focusing on gratitude. And with that, I thank you so much for sharing your light, your heart, your essence. We are all connected. We are all here. We are all one. Living this dream that we call life together through the portal of love of our hearts. And I so look forward to the dynamic growth that's taking place for all of you in our connection. Keep speaking your truth from your heart. Keep speaking your truth from your heart. Keep speaking your truth from your heart. Blessings to everyone who's here. Penelope, I see all kinds of folks popped on, and Petey, Amanda, Abby, Lisa, Stephanie, Jeff, Penny, Nico, Samantha, Livy, and everyone else tuning in. Blessings, love, happy new moon. Deep breaths, plant that seed. Mwah. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.